In tutorial number 1, we showed you how to create a project from scratch using SciChart.js high-performance JavaScript charts. I'm going to pick up where we left off, but before I do, you can head over to our GitHub page, abtsoftware/SciChart.js examples, and under the folder Tutorials, grab the code for tutorial 1 if you haven't got it already. Before I continue adding some line series to this chart, I'm going to give you a quick recap of how we set it up. So first of all, we created the project with the npm package SciChart installed, but we also installed some Webpack dev dependencies which we needed to make the project work. In the Webpack config.js, we ensured that we had these two lines that copied SciChart2d.data and SciChart2d.wasm to the build directory. In our index.html, we have a div with the ID SciChartRoot, which is where we placed our SciChart surface. And finally, in index.js, we created a SciChart surface for this ID, SciChartRoot, using the function SciChartSurface.create. This returns a SciChart surface and a WASM context, a WebAssembly context which is unique to this chart and must be shared amongst the other parts of the chart. Then we added an x-axis and a y-axis to the chart by adding them to these collections. This enabled us to create a simple chart with an x and y axis, but it doesn't have any data. So what we're going to do in tutorial number 2 is show you how to add line series to this chart. In SciChart we have the concept of renderable series. These are the chart types which render your data and display charts on the screen. Some chart types included in SciChart are things like line chart, scatter chart, mountain chart, column, candlestick, open high low close, and more. The renderable series draws your data like this. However, we also have a type called a data series, and this holds the data to draw. The simplest one is an XyDataSeries, which stores XY data for drawing on the chart. We're going to add to our tutorial now by adding a simple line series and show you how this is done. The line series type in SciChart is FastLineRenderableSeries. If you're using JavaScript, you'll need to import this from SciChart, Charting, Visuals, Renderable Series, FastLineRenderableSeries. The line series has properties such as stroke thickness, and it also has stroke. You can set the stroke to a color like this, or a hex color, or you can also use a CSS RGBA color as well. You add the line series to the chart by using the collection SciChart Surface Renderable Series and then call .add. Now this adds the series to the chart, but there's currently no data being drawn. So in order to do that, we also need to declare a data series. We can append to data series, but before we do that, let's do the import. So we need to import XyDataSeries from SciChart, Charting, Model, XyDataSeries. There we go. So the XyDataSeries has methods such as append. That will append a single data point to the series. It also has methods like append range if you want to append an array of values. XyDataSeries has remove at and remove range. It has insert and insert range, and it has update if you want to change the data. You can also call clear, which will clear the data series. The line series, or the FastLineRenderableSeries, expects a data series, so we just simply set it to our XyDataSeries like this. Okay, let's see what we've got now. Fantastic, so we've got a chart, we've got a line series with 2 points on it. This is making good progress, but it hardly shows the power of what SciChart can do. I'm going to paste in a code sample here where we create 100 data series, each with 10,000 points. So in this sample, I'm creating a loop for 100 series, and each time in this loop I'm creating an XyDataSeries, and then I'm looping over the data series, and 10,000 points I'm calling XyDataSeries append. Don't worry too much about this function. This is just a mathematical function that I've used to create a nice looking waveform. Then I create a line series, or a FastLineRenderableSeries, and I'm setting the data series, the stroke, and the stroke thickness, this time using constructor parameters rather than properties. Finally, I add the renderable series to the SciChart surface as we did before. Renderable series support opacity in the color, so I've calculated an opacity here, again to make it look nice. Let's have a look and see what we've created. This looks pretty fantastic. So here we have 10,000 points per series, 100 series. That's 1,000,000 points in total, and SciChart is able to draw this with ease.